Most people believe that success comes from big, dramatic change. They think they need to completely overhaul their life. New job, new diet, new routine, all at once. But the truth is far more powerful, and far more encouraging. Real, lasting change doesn't come from doing huge things. It comes from the tiny habits you repeat every single day. The small, almost invisible choices that compound over time to build, or break, the life you want. This is the secret behind atomic habits. Habits so small they seem insignificant, until they transform everything. Before we dive in, make sure to hit subscribe and tap the like button right now. This tells YouTube to keep sending you powerful audiobook-style videos just like this one, so you can keep growing, one small habit at a time. Imagine you improve by just 1% every day for a year. At first, it feels like nothing. But by the end of the year, you're 37 times better than when you started. Now flip it around, get 1% worse every day for a year and you slide almost all the way down to zero. That's the compound effect of habits. Small choices, repeated daily, lead to massive outcomes over time. And the best part? You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Most people rely on motivation. They wait until they feel like it to take action. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes, sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. Habits are different. Habits run on autopilot. You don't need to psych yourself up to brush your teeth or tie your shoes. You just do it. When you build habits around the things that matter most, your success becomes automatic. One of the most powerful lessons from Atomic Habits is this. Don't focus only on outcomes. Focus on identity. Instead of saying, I want to run a marathon, say, I am a runner. Instead of saying, I want to write a book, say, I am a writer. Instead of saying, I want to quit smoking, say, I am not a smoker. Because every habit you perform is a vote for the type of person you want to become. When you start identifying with your habits, discipline becomes easier. You're no longer forcing yourself to act, you're simply acting in alignment with who you believe you are. One of the best tricks to make habits stick is the 2-minute rule. If a habit feels overwhelming, scale it down until it takes 2 minutes or less. Instead of read every night, start with reading 1 page. Instead of work out every day, put on your workout shoes. Instead of write every day, write a single sentence. These small actions may seem trivial, but they do something critical. They make you show up. And once you've started, momentum takes over. You'll almost always do more than 2 minutes. Another powerful technique is habit stacking, linking a new habit to an existing one. After I pour my morning coffee, I will write 1 sentence. After I brush my teeth, I will do 10 push-ups. After I sit at my desk, I will review my to-do list. By attaching new habits to habits you already do automatically, you make them much easier to remember and stick with. Here's the truth. Your environment often matters more than your motivation. If you want to eat healthier, keep fruit visible and hide junk food. If you want to practice guitar, keep it on a stand in the middle of the room. If you want to read more, place a book on your pillow so you see it before bed. Your environment is either pulling you towards success, or away from it. Design it so the good habits are the easiest option. The 4 laws of behavior change. James Clear's Atomic Habits introduces one of the most practical frameworks ever created for building good habits and breaking bad ones. It's called the 4 laws of behavior change, and it works like this. To build a good habit, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. To break a bad habit, you simply invert the laws. Make it invisible, make it unattractive, make it hard, make it unsatisfying. Let's break these down one by one. Many of our habits happen without us even thinking about them. So the first step is to become aware, to make them obvious. Try this exercise. Write down all your daily habits from morning to night. Brushing teeth, checking phone, making coffee, scrolling social media, snacking, working. Then label each habit as positive, negative, or neutral. This helps you see which habits are helping you, and which ones are holding you back. Use visual cues to trigger your good habits. Place a water bottle on your desk so you remember to hydrate. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Keep your to-do list where you can't miss it. By making good habits obvious, you increase the chances of doing them automatically. Our brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. If a habit feels boring or painful, we'll resist it. So make your habits attractive. Temptation bundling is one great strategy. Pair something you need to do with something you enjoy. Listen to your favorite podcast only while cleaning. Watch your favorite show only while doing cardio. Drink your favorite coffee only after completing deep work. Suddenly, the habit becomes something you look forward to instead of dread. Here's a truth most people overlook. The more friction there is between you and a habit, the less likely you are to do it. So reduce friction for good habits and increase friction for bad ones. Reduce friction. Prep healthy meals ahead of time. Keep a notebook next to your bed for journaling. Use automation. Set reminders, auto-savings, recurring tasks. Increase friction. Delete social media apps from your phone. Hide the TV remote in another room. Require 2 steps to access things you want to avoid. The easier it is to start, the more likely you'll follow through. We are far more likely to repeat behaviors that feel rewarding. That's why tracking habits is so powerful. It gives you a sense of progress. Try using a habit tracker, calendar, or app where you mark an X every time you complete a habit. Over time, you won't want to break the chain. And don't wait for big milestones to celebrate. Reward yourself for showing up. Even a small mental, "Yes, I did it," helps reinforce the behavior. To stop a bad habit, flip the laws. Make it invisible, remove triggers from your environment. Make it unattractive. Remind yourself why this habit is harmful. Make it hard, add steps, barriers, or accountability. Make it unsatisfying, create immediate consequences for slipping. Example: if you want to stop wasting time on your phone, use an app blocker that locks you out after a set limit, and make someone else hold the password. Consider this: 2 airplanes take off from the same airport. One changes its course by just 1 degree. After an hour, they are in completely different cities. Your habits work the same way. A small shift in your choices today will put you in a very different place in a year. Ask yourself, what habit do I want to build that I can make more obvious starting today? How can I make it more attractive, something I actually look forward to? What friction can I remove so it's easier to do? And how can I track or reward myself so it's satisfying? Write down your answers, because awareness is the first step toward change. Theory is great, but nothing is more inspiring than seeing these principles work in real life. Take the story of a man named Dave Brailsford. He was hired to improve the performance of the British cycling team, which hadn't won a Tour de France in over 100 years. Instead of making one big change, he focused on what he called the aggregation of marginal gains. He improved hundreds of tiny things by just 1%. Better bike seats for comfort. Cleaner floors in the team truck to reduce dust on equipment. Slightly better pillows and mattresses for riders to sleep better. Custom-tailored racing suits. The result? Within 5 years, the team dominated cycling, winning multiple Tour de France titles and Olympic gold medals. This is the power of small, consistent habits compounded over time. Habit stacking is one of the most practical tools you can use today. Here are some examples you can adopt immediately. After I brush my teeth, I will floss 1 tooth. After I brew my coffee, I will read 1 page of a book. After I sit on the couch at night, I will write down tomorrow's top 3 priorities. These may feel too small to matter, but they build momentum. 1 tooth becomes 2. 1 page becomes a chapter. And over time, you become the kind of person who shows up consistently. One of the deepest lessons from Atomic Habits is that habits are not just about what you do, they are about who you become. When you focus only on outcomes, you might lose motivation when results are slow. But when you focus on identity, every small win reinforces the person you are becoming. When you do 1 workout, you prove to yourself, "I am an athlete." When you write 1 sentence, you prove, "I am a writer." When you save $1, you prove, "I am financially responsible." Identity-based habits stick because they are tied to your self-image. This principle also works in reverse. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to quit smoking," say, "I'm not a smoker." Instead of saying, "I'm trying to stop procrastinating," say, "I'm the type of person who takes action right away." When you shift your identity, the habit no longer aligns with who you are, and that makes it easier to let go. Another powerful concept from the book is the plateau of latent potential. When you start a new habit, progress feels slow. You may not see results for weeks or months, and many people quit during this time. But just because you can't see progress doesn't mean it's not happening. Change is often invisible at first. Think of an ice cube in a cold room. You slowly warm the room, 26 degrees, 27, 28, 29, nothing happens. But when you hit 32 degrees, suddenly the ice begins to melt. It wasn't just the final degree that made the change, it was every degree before it, building momentum. Your habits work the same way. Stay patient and keep showing up. Let's take a moment to make this practical. Grab a pen and paper and write down one habit you want to start, one habit you want to stop. Then, for the habit you want to start, ask, how can I make it obvious? How can I make it attractive? How can I make it easy? How can I make it satisfying? And for the habit you want to stop, ask, how can I make it invisible? How can I make it unattractive? How can I make it hard? How can I make it unsatisfying? This is your personal habit blueprint, your first step toward lasting transformation. Ask yourself, what's one small win I can get today to prove to myself I am the kind of person who follows through? How can I shrink the habit so small that it's impossible to fail? How can I design my environment so that good habits happen by default? Because your life is not shaped by occasional big decisions, but by the hundreds of small ones you make every single day. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to make habits stick is to track them. Why? Because what gets measured gets managed. When you track your habits, you create a visual cue that reminds you to take action, and you also get a little hit of dopamine when you check something off, making the habit satisfying. You can use a paper calendar with big X marks each day you complete the habit, a habit tracking app, a notebook or journal where you record your streaks. This creates what James Clear calls the don't break the chain effect. Once you've built a streak, you'll want to keep it alive, even on hard days. When you miss a habit, don't punish yourself, just get back to it the next day. And if a habit ever feels too hard, shrink it down to the 2-minute version again. Consistency beats intensity every time. Remember, it's better to do something small than to do nothing at all. How to break through plateaus. At some point, every habit hits a plateau. Progress slows. Results seem to stop. Motivation drops. Here's what to do when that happens. Review your system. Are you still following the 4 laws? Maybe the habit became less obvious or less attractive. Adjust your cues or rewards to make it exciting again. Increase the challenge gradually. Your brain loves novelty. If the habit feels too easy, add a twist. Add weight to your workouts. Try a new recipe for your healthy eating. Learn a new skill related to your goal. Focus on the identity, not just the outcome. Plateaus feel discouraging when you're only focused on results. But if your goal is to become the type of person who lives this habit, you win every time you show up, regardless of short-term results. One powerful way to stay accountable is to create a habit contract. This is a written agreement with yourself, and sometimes with another person, stating what you will do and what happens if you fail. For example, I will work out 3 times a week. If I miss 2 weeks in a row, I will donate $50 to a cause I don't support. The pain of losing money, or the embarrassment of telling someone you failed, keeps you on track. Another game changer: find an accountability partner. This can be a friend, coach, or online community. Someone you check in with weekly to share progress, wins, and struggles. Research shows that people with accountability partners are up to 65% more likely to achieve their goals, and 95% more likely when they set regular check-in appointments. Another reason people quit habits is because they become too easy or too hard. This is where the Goldilocks rule comes in. A habit should be challenging enough to keep you engaged, but not so hard that it feels impossible. If it's too easy, raise the bar. If it's too hard, make it simpler. This keeps you in the sweet spot where motivation stays high. Comedian Jerry Seinfeld used a simple strategy to write better jokes. He hung a big wall calendar and put a red X on every day he wrote. After a few weeks, he had a chain of X's, and his only job was don't break the chain. That simple system helped him stay consistent for years, and built one of the most successful comedy careers of all time. Ask yourself, What habit do I need to start tracking today? Who could I ask to be my accountability partner for the next 30 days? How can I slightly raise the bar to keep this habit challenging and exciting? Write it down, because what you write, you remember, and what you remember, you act on. Mastering habits for the long term. Building a habit is one thing, keeping it for years is another. The real challenge is not starting, it's staying consistent long after the excitement fades. This is where most people fall off. They treat habits like a sprint when they are actually a marathon. We've touched on this earlier, but it's worth repeating. When a habit becomes part of who you are, you don't have to force yourself to do it anymore. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation to brush. You simply see yourself as a person who brushes every morning and night. Ask yourself, what type of person do I want to become? What would a person like that do every day? Then start casting votes for that identity, one habit at a time. The power of consistency. Here's the truth, you will have good days and bad days. Days you feel unstoppable and days you feel like giving up. But if you keep showing up, you will build momentum that becomes unstoppable. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. A mediocre workout 3 times a week beats a perfect workout once a month. A single paragraph written daily beats an "I'll write when I feel inspired" mentality. Your habits will thrive or die based on the system you build around them. Here are a few key lifestyle adjustments that make habits easier. Sleep well. A rested brain has stronger willpower. Eat for energy. Stable blood sugar keeps you from crashing and skipping habits. Move your body. Exercise isn't just good for health, it boosts focus and mood. Control your tech. Disable notifications, block distracting apps, and protect your attention. When your lifestyle supports your habits, discipline feels natural instead of forced. No matter how disciplined you are, you will mess up. You'll miss workouts. You'll eat junk food. You'll waste time. This is normal. The difference between successful and unsuccessful people isn't that successful people never fail, it's that they bounce back faster. Here's a simple rule, never miss twice. If you miss one day, get right back on track the next day. Don't let one slip turn into a downward spiral. There's a famous story about a pianist who was asked what happens if he misses practice. He said, "If I miss one day, I notice. If I miss 2 days, the critics notice. If I miss 3 days, the audience notices." The lesson? Don't let a small lapse grow into a big one. The sooner you return to the habit, the less damage is done. As your life changes, your habits should change too. Every month or so, take a step back and ask, are my habits still serving me? Are they moving me closer to my goals? Do I need to add, remove, or adjust anything? This habit of reflecting on your habits is how you keep evolving and avoid falling into autopilot. This is where the magic really happens. When you keep small habits going for years, the compounding effect becomes undeniable. Daily exercise keeps you healthy for decades. Daily saving builds wealth and financial security. Daily learning compounds into wisdom and opportunities. Your habits are the roots of your future. Tend to them and your future will flourish. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what habit will matter most to me 10 years from now? What habit, if I started today, would make my future self proud? Am I willing to keep showing up for it, even on the boring, ordinary days? Because those ordinary days are where extraordinary results are built. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in behavior change. When you succeed in one area, it creates a ripple effect that influences others. This is why habit pairing, connecting 2 habits together, is so effective. Example. After your morning coffee, do a 2-minute stretch. After completing your daily work session, review your budget for the day. After brushing your teeth at night, write down 3 things you're grateful for. This keeps your day flowing from one good habit to the next, building a chain of wins. One of the biggest enemies of consistency is boredom. Eventually, even the most exciting habit can start to feel routine. This is where amateurs quit, but masters keep going. The truth is, success isn't about doing what you love when you feel like it. It's about sticking to the plan even when you don't. Professional athletes don't quit training when they're bored. Writers don't stop writing because it feels repetitive. Consistency through boredom is what separates those who achieve from those who only dream. The key is to fall in love with the process, not just the results. Enjoy the act of showing up even if the results are slow. Celebrate the fact that you kept your promise to yourself. View each repetition as a vote for the person you want to become. When you learn to enjoy the grind, discipline no longer feels like punishment, it feels like self-respect. When motivation fades, identity can keep you going. Ask yourself, what would a healthy person do right now? What would a disciplined person choose? What would the future version of me be proud of? When you act as your future self, you step into the life you want to live, one choice at a time. Every habit journey has a plateau period, the time when you've been consistent but results seem flat. This is when most people quit, but it's actually when you're closest to a breakthrough. Think of the bamboo tree we talked about earlier. Nothing happens for years, then suddenly it grows 80 feet in 6 weeks. Your habits are quietly working beneath the surface, preparing you for exponential growth. Celebrate every small win because they build momentum. One healthy meal is a win. One workout is a win. One page read is a win. These small wins create a sense of progress, and progress fuels motivation. When you stack enough small wins together, they turn into massive victories. There's a concept called the slight edge, the idea that small, seemingly insignificant choices compound over time. You can choose to read 10 pages a day or not. You can choose to save $5 a day or not. Neither choice seems to matter in the moment. But over months and years, they lead to completely different destinations. Your future self is being shaped by the tiny decisions you make today. Take a deep breath and think, what's one small win I can get today to build momentum? How can I make the process more enjoyable so boredom doesn't stop me? Who can I share my progress with to stay accountable? Write it down, because clarity creates commitment. Now that you know the principles, let's turn them into a simple, step-by-step plan you can start today. Step 1. Choose one habit. Don't try to overhaul your entire life at once. Pick just one habit to start with. Ask yourself, which habit would make the biggest difference if I mastered it? Which habit would create a ripple effect in other areas of my life? Choose something so simple that success is inevitable. Step 2. Apply the 4 laws. Use the 4 laws of behavior change to make the habit stick. Make it obvious, set a clear cue or trigger. Make it attractive, pair it with something enjoyable. Make it easy, shrink it to a 2-minute version. Make it satisfying, track it and celebrate each win. Step 3. Habit stack it. Attach your habit to something you already do every day. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 2 minutes. After I brush my teeth, I will write down one thing I'm grateful for. This makes the new habit almost effortless. Step 4. Track your progress. Use a habit tracker, journal, or calendar. Your goal is to not break the chain. Even if you only do the smallest version of the habit, it still counts, because the real victory is staying consistent. Step 5. Build accountability. Tell someone about your goal. Better yet, get an accountability partner and set regular check-ins. Remember, people who have someone to report to are almost twice as likely to succeed. Even with the best plan, you will slip up. When it happens, don't waste time feeling guilty, just get back on track. Remember the rule, never miss twice. 1 missed day is a mistake. 2 missed days is the start of a new habit, the habit of quitting. Don't let it happen. Pause and imagine yourself 1 year from today. If you keep doing what you're doing right now, the same habits, the same choices, what will your life look like? Now imagine a different future. One where you make small, daily improvements. One where you follow through on the plan we just created. Your health is better. Your mind is sharper. Your finances are more secure. Your relationships are stronger. All because you made tiny, consistent choices that compounded into something extraordinary. The goal is not just to build habits. The goal is to become the kind of person who lives them naturally. Say to yourself, I am the kind of person who follows through. I am the kind of person who takes care of my health. I am the kind of person who shows up every day. When you change your identity, the actions follow automatically. Here's the truth, you don't need to change your entire life overnight. You just need to take one small step today. Because every habit is a vote. A vote for the person you want to become. So cast your vote right now. Read 1 page. Do 1 push-up. Save $1. Start building the future you deserve, one habit at a time. If this audiobook-style guide inspired you, make sure to white heavy checkmark subscribe so you don't miss the next one. White heavy checkmark like this video to tell YouTube you want more content like this. White heavy checkmark share it with someone who needs encouragement. Together we can build better habits, one small step at a time. Your transformation starts today.